It is me. I'm going to be confident. I'm not going to ask you guys.
What?
Is it me?
Yeah, this is you. It is you, right? Yes. Who's this very calm?
Damn it! I was gonna. It's Greg from California. I just thought it'd be funny to say it was me.
Oh yes. No, I get it now. I'm just a little slow today. Thank you.
No, I gotcha. Yeah, but I failed. I didn't hold my resolve. So, first of all, I wanted to say thank you. I'm usually not able to listen to the full episodes, but I've seen a lot of your guys' content. And because of what I've learned from you guys, particularly your analysis of how our country responded to 9/11, the situation feels like a test that I studied for.
Right.
I wanted to briefly say two things just as a sort of counter to some of the more frustrating takes I've seen. It wouldn't be anything you guys need to hear, but I figured it might add to the toolkit of anyone listening for them to use when they're talking to people in their social circles. The first is about how the asymmetrical nature of this conflict is presented and how it can be explained by and related to personal experiences of regular people. So as we know, there are many people who are Israeli in the United States, and it is really important for us to be supportive of them. I disagree with people who think that statement doesn't need to be said, and I'm not including you guys among those people. But, showing someone that you see where they're at and care about what they're experiencing is not a bad idea, interpersonally or strategically. It doesn't take much time or effort. It's worth the investment of a few minutes. But I think it might be kind of striking for people who only do that for Israelis in the United States to try to guess how many Israelis and how many Palestinians are in the United States. The numbers are actually really close to each other, and according to the numbers I've seen, the Palestinian number is actually higher. And I imagine that the average person would be kind of blown away by that. And I think if you get someone to that realization, to that moment of surprise, and surprise has been studied as a really effective teaching tool, I think maybe that could open the door to a wider discussion about why it might be that they had that misconception and what other things they might be unaware of for similar reasons. And the second thing, I've seen a lot of people, and this is sort of, this is not really the intelligent discussion, but the intelligent discussion is not the most popular discussion. I've seen people who are throwing out like made up numbers about how people in Gaza support Hamas. And it's like, well, their approval rating is, this and that.
Yeah.
And obviously, you and I know, and people listening know that, these are kind of made up numbers. We can't really know what the numbers actually are. Obviously, if anything, it would be artificially high because do you want Hamas to find out that you said you don't approve of them? Mm-hmm. Right? But just to kind of circumvent that and attack the premise, let's just say, for the sake of argument, so we don't quibble or whatever that word is about the numbers. Let's say it's 100%, right?
Right.
Let's just make that up.
This is a good argument. I know where you're going.
Thank you. So 98% of Palestinians in Gaza are not in Hamas. And if they could just tell them, Google the number of Palestinians in Hamas and divide it by the number of people in Gaza, right? Like, you know what I'm trying to say. Sorry, I'm kind of stumbling here because it's just upsetting. But you guys get what I'm trying to say. So, right? So 98% of the people are not in Hamas. And I'm sure everyone on the right would not say that Hamas is like, this democratically elected group of peaceful people who would just leave if people ask them to, right? They're a dictatorial regime. So even if everyone approved of Hamas, they wouldn't be participating in the Hamas actions because they're not a part of Hamas, because only 2% is part of Hamas, and they can't get rid of Hamas. So it's a thought crime. So does someone deserve to die for thinking something? Do they deserve to get buried under rubble? Do they deserve to not have food or water? To be kicked out of their homes? Do they deserve that for thinking something?
Greg, I mean, I would also add, I mean, you might find some overlap with supporters of Israel and people who hate Trump, because there are people who can make, whose politics are complicated in that way, and they may even say, I hate Netanyahu, but I want the attacks to happen or something. We need to fight back.
To reassert dominance.
Right. You can also just say, do you think that Americans should be punished for the decisions of their government? I mean, even
Right.
putting aside the fact that calling Hamas like the governing body in Palestine is not accurate because it's ruled over and everything happens, food, fuel, electricity, all controlled by Israel. They don't have a functioning government. But putting that aside, do you believe in punishing the people for what their government does? Do you think that people in the United States should be punished for what the Trump administration did? You know
what that actually just made me think is if you have like a crazy, QAnon uncle, that guy thinks that Biden is like eating babies, right? Mm-hmm. And Biden's the president right now. So should we be bombed for all of the, should we be bombed for the adrenochrome that Hunter is storing in his laptop or whatever?
Yeah, although if you're having an argument with that guy, these arguments may not work. This is more probably for like people who are liberal accept right. Israel. And there's a lot. I got a little too.
This is why I've learned from you guys.
Well, thank you for the call and the uplifting suggestions. Some productive ways to approach discourse. I appreciate it, Greg. Thank you.
Of course. And thank you guys. I feel like the tide is shifting on this. I'm noticing people talking about this who are kind of afraid to and then seeing that other people are. And I feel like everyone's sort of slowly poking their head out of their shell and saying what they think.
I hope so.
Can't come soon enough.
Yeah, please. All right. Thanks so much.